I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I put the mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns out with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's you lost, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is going to be part 3 of the airbrush panel. I kind of split these up, this part of part 3 up into 2 different episodes, just because I took over a week off to get the truck ready for the show. I had little things like I had to button up on it, such as like the grill I had to paint, get that ready. So the show was this weekend, today's Sunday, so went yesterday. The truck did really well, so thank you guys for all the support. It kind of took over the internet for the weekend, if you'd say. So I'm really happy about that. If you haven't watched everything, there's 7 parts to that mini truck build, so go back and watch through them. Some are pretty lengthy, just because I did record about 140 hours worth of work throughout the whole process. It took me about roughly 140 hours to get the whole truck done, so sorry for that, but it does take a lot of time, and I wanted to show you guys as much as possible in these videos. That way you guys can understand what kind of goes into this stuff. So again, thank you for the support, but we're going to jump back into this panel. So lastly, we left off of is going through on the second step and kind of getting the darkest darks in, and then we went back through and layered on a little bit of a darker grayish bluish color by adding a little bit of drops into our mixture. And the only thing I've done off camera since about a week ago was I went back through this with a really over reduced black, kind of like a candy black if you would say, that I made up. I usually don't do this until the very end, towards the end of my projects, just because the blackest blacks you want to try to punch those back towards the end, but on this I kind of did it in between being off camera with you guys. So as you can see, some of the blacks are really pushed back. I want to show you guys what that looks like right now, kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about as far as pushing everything back and pulling it forward. And in this episode, we're really gonna start sculpting these different dimensions and these different areas out to bring it all together. So I want to show you guys just real quick. Let me grab the camera. I'm gonna give you guys a close-up. So as you can see, like in her face, her eyes, around the hair, I just very lightly went in with like I said, a really over-reduced black to kind of punch this image back further to bring everything forward. And like I said, I usually don't do this till the end just because that's just how I do it. But I want to try it here just to show you guys the image quality that's going to come out of this thing. So it might be kind of dark right now just because we are working with our darks in the previous videos. But now we're going to start lightening everything up and pull everything back forward. So I've kind of already started at the very bottom with the skulls. So I want to show you guys just what I mean by pulling this stuff back out in different layers and see what kind of, you guys can see the quality of this. So this is what we mess with, the blacks and everything. Now we went down to the bottom and I started, like I said, I started doing the skulls. So if I can get you guys a little close. Now this area that I've worked already looks white compared to everything else. And let me get you guys set back up. The crazy part about that is, let me get you guys back focused. And the crazy part about that is it's not white. It's still the same mixture that I made up. You know, the last video, I think I added 2 or 3 drops to our regular mixture of this like candy color I made with the black and the blue, and a little bit of white added into it. And then I just, like I said, I added about 2 or 3 drops to get this bluish, gray tone, greenish areas in. And then all I did was add 2 more drops. So I've got 5 drops extra into our original, and that's the difference that this stuff can make when you're doing these layers and pushing and pulling things back and forth. So I'm going to continue this. I'm going to work this area, kind of work my way up. I'm probably going to put you guys on a time lapse. I've already got everything set up, paints in the gun already. Like I said, I've been working this for a little bit. This is the part where you guys want to kind of slow down on what you're doing, because you're trying to get these details in there, as far as like shadowing and shading, and you want to get that stuff right. So I'm going to be working closely with my reference image. I'm going to be getting really close to this stuff to try to get the correct lighting that I need. And by lighting and shadowing things like that, you really want to rely on a reference image if you have one, or if you're creating something from scratch, you kind of want to use the sun image, or the sun method, I should say, on which side of the panel you guys want your lighting to shine down through, which is going to cause the shadowing on the other end. So you got to really know how light hits stuff when you're starting to do these shadowing and shading areas. And you want to be really careful, work slowly, and just go through and make sure you get it right, because at the end of it, it's going to really look more realistic at the end, and as if you would do is just go in and blast this stuff and make it one solid color and go through and add highlights and, you know, your shadows that way. So that's why I do it this way. Many artists do it this way. I learned this from Ryan. I took one of his classes years ago, and I just continue to watch other artists, what they do. I pick what I like and I use it. If I don't like it, I don't use it. And I just kind of rolled into my own method here. So it just really gets this image at the end of it really sharp, because you're adding all these layers. And if you know how to do it, know where to place your paint and your areas that you need to create an image, it really shows at the end of it. And this is, to me, this is the fun part of it. Even though we're still on our darker grays, like bluish grays is what this is going to come out to be, we're not even close to being into our like brightest whites yet. So like I said, this is only step 3. I mean, I'm going to assume it's probably going to be 5 or 6 steps in between this whole project. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get to painting. I'm going to get you guys set up on a time lapse, like I said, and we're going to start working these areas in, and you're going to really start to see this image really come to life. So let me get you guys set up here. I want to get you guys as close as I can. That way you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Because I'm going to be working really close to this image. I'm going to get my reference up here. Make sure you have your reference close by. That way you can keep looking off of it and coming down to your image and doing it all, multitasking and everything. Make sure everything looks correct. And some of this stuff, I'm going to be not exactly mimicking the picture 100%. There's going to be things where I'm going to start into an area and I'll be like, hey, that looks like this. I'm going to start painting that. So certain things will change within the image to make it my own, and I suggest everybody do that, just because it's going to make it your own work rather than just pretty much copying the picture 100%. So I always go through and try to change a little bit here and there, just to make it my own. Not that I've already done that already with the image itself, but just my little bit of 2 cents there. So we're going to start working on this and work our way up here. So we got everything pretty much covered the way I would like it to be. The next step is to go back in, added 4 more drops of white to the original color that we had just finished off with to make it even lighter. A lot of people would just stop right here and call it good, but we're gonna still be punching this thing out. So I added 4 more drops of white. That makes our total up to, what is it now, 8 or 9, I believe. So we're gonna go back through and keep working on the lightest lights and keep popping those out. And after this, we can go back in with some really over-reduced black with some little bit of blue in it and kind of knock this dark areas back. And that's really gonna pop this thing out, and we'll keep working our ways towards the lightest lights. So I'm gonna get to it, and you guys sit back and enjoy it.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Before I end this video, I want to go over everything you guys just saw in this part, where we're at part 3 right now. So we got the collar all laid out everywhere. The only part that I did not go over with the lighter grayish bluish was the building back here, because I kind of want it to be in the background and not really the foreground. So I'm going to keep that darker. There are going to be highlights we're going to add towards the end of this to make it kind of stand out in different lighting. So when we go through this, I'm just going through this and hitting, and I got my reference here. So what I'm doing essentially is looking at my brightest brights. That's why I've got this in black and white, so I can see my brightest brights and my darkest darks. So with us pulling this out and using our lighter colors as we're building up, I'm just focusing on the brighter brights. I'm trying to stay away from the darkest dark areas like these eye sockets, you know, around her mouth and lips, her eyelid or eyeballs around the eye sockets are really dark. So I'm staying away from those dark spots. And then once we get to the point where we go back in and add some more over-reduced black and going back in and start shading these areas, we can start pushing those areas back. But for right now, like what you guys just saw, we're pulling everything out and we're doing that in layers. And we're still using our original mixture that we mixed up. We're just adding drops of white. And right now I think we're at, I think I said 6 or 7 at the beginning of this video, and every different layer I'm just adding to that. The next time we go back through this on part 4, so stay tuned, we're going to be actually bumping it up a lot more to bring more of this out, and you're going to see the difference. Right now it might look white to you, white and bright, but it actually isn't. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what this looks like. If you guys can see this, I don't know if you guys can see that in there. It's actually a really, really dark grayish blue color. And on you know, when you're spraying it, so you're spraying it thin, you're not it's not globbed up in a bunch in the bottle like this. So it's going to be different. So it is spraying lighter than what you guys think it is. But it's actually really, really dark. It's still that dark grayish blue color. And that's kind of one thing I want to go over is why you want to layer things. Of course, I could have went back through this and I could have done just a basic white with some blue and black in it and just started shading from the get-go and create one big layer. But the difference with this is it's going to look more, I'm not going to use the term realistic because I think that term is overly used in this industry as an artist. So I'm going to use the term lifelike. When you're layering layers on top of layers on top of layers, and you know how to shadow, you know how to create that illusion, it's going to look more lifelike in the end. And that's one thing that I've been trying to focus on more lately, is creating things that are a lot more lifelike, kind of set myself apart from everybody else. There are a lot of great artists that can do the hyper-realistic images that you guys might see on the internet. But I kind of still want to have it I want that lifelike look, but still have that painterly touch to it when you can still see the paint strokes and the airbrush strokes at the end of it, but it still be lifelike. That's kind of what I go for. And the reason behind that is, for one, you know, people in my area are not going to pay thousands of dollars for, you know, a hyper-realistic image. Yeah, I might be able to find somebody online to buy something like that, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to the time and the money that someone's willing to pay you to create something like this. Now, if you're doing something like this for yourself, and you want to achieve that look, go ahead, spend as many hours on it as you possibly want. But in all reality, airbrushing, it needs to be really quick, and you need to turn it around really fast. So usually stuff like this, I typically want to spend under 40, 30 hours on it total. And right now we're exactly under 4 hours and 30 minutes on this. So we're not really that far in, and you can see how much we've already done already and how much we've already brought this out. But like I said, we're still in our darkest darks. We're not even close to bringing that white out yet. And that's really going to make it pop. And then we're going to start adding color to that white, start lighting these areas up. Like her face is going to be a little bit kind of peachy area, and it's going to have a glow down here, and it's just going to reflect off her hair and everything, which is going to make it more lifelike looking in the end. So it really boils down to, like I said, the time you want to spend on something like this, the time frame that the customer wants it done in versus what you're getting paid to do it. That's really going to determine how far you're going to really take this. Because obviously, if you're going to spend 100 hours on something and you're only getting paid for 10 hours of it, you're losing yourself. You're really not doing exactly what you need to be as far as a business standpoint. But I want to show you guys this and make sure you guys understand that right now we're just focusing on the brightest brights, especially down here in the skulls where the light's going to be the brightest. That's where we're focusing on. Just like this image I have right here. Back down here with the candles. The candles are going to be the brightest bright. So we went through and hit all the candles, all the shadows and the bones for the chandelier, the bookends, all that down here is the brightest brights that you're going to be seeing in black and white. And like I said, the reason we do that, the more layering you do, the more lifelike you're going to bring it out. And you kind of don't want to rush it too much. You want to do it in layers where you're comfortable doing it, because if you go too far too fast, it's harder to bring it back if you need to fix something, or if you go too far and you don't like the way it looks. So baby steps is important. So do what you feel comfortable with. I know a lot of artists that can probably make this collar once and just start working one end to one end and nail it the first time. But showing you guys, baby steps is the way to do it. Take your time. Don't over rush it. And always have your reference by you. I always go have my reference near me. If you can see it in the videos, I'm always constantly looking back and forth at my reference. The closest, if you have your reference closer to you, then when you're painting, it's going to be a lot easier on you. You're not going to, it's going to make the image a lot better because you're doing exactly what the image says. Now, like I said earlier, I have went through and I've changed some of this. Some things I'm not really happy with on the picture, or if I want to change it, I can go down here when I'm painting it and I can change it. Like some of the stuff isn't exactly exact as the picture, and that's fine. You don't want you want to kind of make it your own. So this is the time to do it. When you're in those beginning stages, it's easier to do it now than once you're almost done and going back in and changing those changes. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Like I said, I'm not trying to do like hyper realistic images or anything, but I do want it lifelike. I do want to make it look like it's been painted, and I don't want it to look like a photo, because to me, those guys that do that photorealistic image stuff, it's really, really impressive. But at the end of the day, I want somebody to have something that you can tell when you look at it that it was hand painted. And that's just to me personally, it's more fun that way. And that's what I like, and that's what I like my customers to have. So I just want to go over that real quick with you. I'm going to show you guys an example of what I actually mean by that. So this panel was done in a class, and this is kind of how I, came across this, even though I knew I was doing this all along before I took the class, but this just helped me realize what I was doing even more. So this was all pretty much freehand, exactly the way we're doing this. So even though it looks lifelike, it's still, when you look at it, you can still see the paint really strokes in it. You can still see the different shades, and you can tell that it's been airbrushed. It's not really that photo real look, but it's that look that makes it lifelike. It's realistic enough to tell what it is, and you can also tell that it's been painted. So that's kind of what I'm going for now. So now that you guys have been updated, that's going to be a wrap on this video. Part 4 is going to come out here really quick, and what that is after this, I'm going to do this in between videos, is since we've already got everything mapped out, we're going to bump up a lot more white in our mixture to bump this up and start really, really tightening this down. We're going to really stick to the areas that really only have the brightest brights in it, and you're going to see me be working really, really tight within this image to get those areas knocked out, because some of this stuff, as you can see, like I was really on this video, I was really trying to focus on the areas like in her hair, for existence. Like I didn't want to just cover everything. I want to leave some of this stuff in the dark, and I want to pull some of this stuff out, and that's going to make it at the end of this, make this hair look more realistic, more lifelike. Like I said, is you kind of want to focus on and understand your shadowing of this image. And now that you guys see this starting to come together, you can kind of see which direction we're going to take with it. So, but before that, before I go back in with my brightest brights again and really bump that up, I'm going to go back in with really over-reduced black, and I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to go back through it. Her eye sockets and these eye sockets on these skulls, we're going to push that stuff just to back it just a little bit. We're not going to fully go in with black. We're going to add a little bit of blue to it and our mixture to it, and we're going to really over reduce it so we can start shading those things back. And then once you start pulling things forward more, you'll start to see that stuff push back and come forward with our darkest darks and our lightest lights. So I just want to run over this with you guys real quick. If you're new to this, or if you're new to the channel, if you're new to airbrushing or painting or